Welcome to the Marvelous Middle Age Podcast, where midlife meets growth, purpose, and connection. A place where midlife is not something to survive, but a season to thrive. Here, we're building a welcoming community of people who are right in the middle of life, sharing our stories, learning from one another, and discovering just how meaningful and powerful this season can be. Together, we'll explore the topics that shape midlife, relationships, transitions, health, parenting, careers, and the inner work that helps us thrive. My goal is to encourage you, uplift you, and remind you that midlife can be vibrant, meaningful, and deeply fulfilling. My hope is that you'll feel seen, supported, and inspired to live fully, grow bravely, and embrace the person you're becoming. I'm so glad you're here. Let's navigate midlife together on the Marvelous Middle Age Podcast. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Marvelous Middle Age Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and this week we are continuing our Enneagram and Relationships series where we're exploring how each Enneagram type shows up in personal and professional relationships and how understanding one another better can lead to deeper connection, healthier communication, and more grace for ourselves and others. I'm a certified Enneagram coach and had the honor to learn and study with Beth McCord, founder of Your Enneagram Coach. The Enneagram is about compassion, understanding, and creating healthier connections, especially in this midlife season where relationships matter deeply and energy is more precious than ever. My hope is that it brings clarity, compassion, and some practical ways to strengthen your relationships. If you're new to the Enneagram or want to learn more, check out Season 7, Episode 1, where I give a more in-depth overview of the Enneagram. If you want to determine your Enneagram type, there is a link in the show notes for a free assessment if you can take, which will help you to determine your type. This week, we are talking about the Type 9s. Type 9s are one of the most gentle, grounding, and often overlooked types on the Enneagram. Type 9s are often called the Peacemaker. They are warm, accepting, and deeply relational. They have an incredible ability to create calm and make others feel at ease. And yet, because their strength is quiet, their needs and inner world are often misunderstood or minimized, sometimes even by themselves. If you're a Type 9, you love a Type 9, work with or lead a Type 9, this episode is for you. Because Type 9s don't avoid conflict because they don't care. They avoid it because they care deeply about connection. At their core, Type 9s are driven by a desire for peace, harmony, and inner stability. 9s are highly attuned to the emotional environment. They sense tension quickly and instinctively move to reduce it, often by accommodating others, smoothing over differences, or minimizing their own needs. At their healthiest, 9s are calm and grounded, accepting and non-judgmental. They're emotionally steady, empathetic listeners, and wise, big picture thinkers. But when 9s are stressed or unhealthy, they may disengage or shut down, struggle to identify their own needs, and they avoid conflicts at all costs. They might procrastinate or become passive, and they tend to feel invisible or overlooked. One of the most important things to understand about 9s is this: their calm is not passivity, it is presence. A Type 9's core longing is your presence matters. Your voice is welcome. They want to know that expressing themselves won't disrupt connection. Their deepest fear is loss of connection, conflict, or separation. 9s fear that asserting themselves will lead to tension or abandonment. Their core desire is to maintain inner peace and harmony with others. In relationships, this means 9s deeply value emotional safety, predictability, gentle communication, and being accepted as they are. If you look at a diagram of the Enneagram, it's a circle, and each type has another type on either side. Each Enneagram type is influenced by its neighboring numbers, known as wings. Wings are the seasoning to your type. They add dimension, more layers to your personality. Some types are distributed evenly across their wings, and some may lean heavily towards one wing or another. A 9 with a one wing is more idealistic and principled. They're gentle but values driven, quietly purposeful. They can struggle with suppressed anger and they desire the right outcomes. A 9 with an 8 wing might be more grounded and steady. They're protective, resilient. They're calm but firm when pushed. They might be less outwardly emotional, and they have a strong sense of loyalty. On the diagram of the Enneagram, you may also notice that each number has an arrow pointing away from it and an arrow pointing towards it. The arrow pointing away from the number is the type that a number goes to in stress. The arrow pointing towards the number is the type a number goes to in growth. When under stress, 9s move towards the low side of a type 6. They might become anxious or indecisive. They might constantly seek reassurance and doubt their own instincts. They worry about worst case outcomes. They may think, what if I mess this up? In growth, 9s move towards the high side of a type 3. They might take more initiative, becoming more confident and energized. They'll be able to name goals and desires and take meaningful action. A growing 9 learns that taking up space doesn't disrupt peace, it deepens it. If you've been listening to this season and finding yourself thinking, that sounds like me, or that explains someone I love, I want you to know you're not alone. The Enneagram is such a powerful tool for understanding ourselves and the people around us, not so that we can label or fix one another, but so we can meet ourselves and others with more compassion, patience, and grace. As a certified Enneagram coach, I work with individuals and teams who want to grow in self-awareness, strengthen their relationships, and navigate this season of life with more clarity and confidence. Whether you're exploring your own type, working through a transition, or part of a team wanting to communicate and collaborate more effectively, Enneagram coaching creates space to slow down, reflect, and grow together. If you feel a gentle nudge to go deeper, I'd love to connect with you. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Nicole Stute or email me at themarvelousmiddleagepodcast@gmail.com. There's no pressure, just a conversation. Because understanding ourselves changes the way we show up in the world, and that matters. And with that in mind, let's jump back into this week's episode. At their healthiest, 9s show up as steady, calming presences, loyal and accepting partners or friends. They're thoughtful listeners. They're patient and understanding, and they're emotionally safe people to be around. 9s express love through presence, support, consistency, quiet acts of care, and making space for others. They are often the emotional glue in families, friendships, and workplaces. When 9s are stressed or disconnected, they may avoid expressing needs or opinions. They might agree outwardly but feel resentful inwardly. They might disengage emotionally and shut down during conflict. And they might feel unseen or unheard. They might be thinking, it's not worth the conflict. But over time, the self-erasure leads to disconnection from others and from themselves. If you're in relationship with a 9, consider this. Invite their opinions and wait for their response. Ask open-ended questions and reassure them that conflict won't end the relationship. Give them time to process and encourage them gently to use their voice. If you're in relationship with a 9, try to avoid these things. Don't speak for them and assume that their agreement equals desire. Don't rush them in decision making. And don't ignore subtle cues of withdrawal. With 9s, gentle persistence builds trust. If you lead or work with a 9, communicate with calm, respectful language. Set clear expectations. Offer encouragement rather than pressure. and have patience. You can support them by inviting them into leadership gradually. Help them clarify priorities and affirm their contributions, and create space for their ideas. Nines thrive in environments where their voice is welcomed and their pace is respected. If you're a nine listening today, hear this. Your presence matters more than you realize. And if you love or lead a nine, your patience and invitation create space for them to rise. Relationships with nines are grounding, healing, and deeply steady when we honor both their gift of peace and their need for voice. Thank you for being here today. If this episode resonated, share it with someone who loves or leads a type 9. Until next time, stay present, stay connected, and keep showing up with grace. Thank you so much for being part of the Marvelous Middle Age Podcast community. I'd love for you to follow the show so new episodes land right in your feed. I'd be so grateful if you left a rating and a 5-star review on the podcast platform you listen on. It's a simple way to help others find the podcast. And if there's a topic you'd love to hear more about, I'd truly love to hear from you. You can email me at themarvelousmiddleagepodcast@gmail.com or send me a DM on Instagram at Nicole Stu. Thank you for listening, for showing up, and for choosing to thrive in this season of life.